students. So welcome to our first class of the new semester. So we'll be studying advanced English. So as you guys have been noticing, on the board I put this phrase: you can't judge a book by its cover. So some of you guys have already been discussing. Very nice. So before I tell you guys who I am, what we'll be doing in this class, before we get to know each other a little better, I want us to discuss this a little bit more and see if we can judge each other, find out who our character is. But first, let's find out about movie titles. Can you judge a movie by its title? So if you know the title in Russian, don't say it. Just wait for the other students and we'll discuss whether you can judge a movie. So the first movie, Die Hard. Does anybody know it? Okay, so two of the guys know it, the girls don't, and maybe 50-50. So does it look like an interesting movie? More or less. Yes, the title's not very proper English. But now here's what's interesting. Anyone know what it is in Russian? How would you translate it? Okay, so you think Die Hard means difficult to kill him, so unkillable. Okay. So who knows it in Russian? Okay, so Tough Nut. What sounds like a better title? Die Hard or Tough Nut? So you guys think Die Hard because Tough Nut sounds a bit strange. What exactly is it? Anyone know if there's an English equivalent of a tough nut? No? Sometimes in English we say someone is a tough cookie. If they're really strong, they can do things. So you could say tough cookie, but he doesn't really look like a cookie. So here's another movie title. Has anyone seen or heard about this movie, Dan in Real Life? So none of you know about it. Could you translate it without knowing the essence, the main plot of the story? So you think it's more difficult. Okay, so first, this man, as you can see, has some problems in life. His brother's getting married, his brother's career is going forward, he's just kind of stuck in a rut, not moving forward in life. So this is about him visiting his brother before the wedding. So what would you say? Okay, Dan, just in normal life. Okay, every day, Dan. Okay. So could anyone guess what the Russian title could be? So you all think it's similar to this, just the unusual life of Dan or the usual life? For some reason in Russian, it's called Falling in Love with Your Brother's Wife, because he falls in love with his brother's soon-to-be wife. With his, anyone know, nevyesta in English? Yes, bride. So he falls in love with his brother's bride. But the problem is, it's not supposed to be his. So, and the title also gives away the main plot. So, sorry about that. Next movie, over here, The Notebook. So, okay, the girls know The Notebook, but the guys don't. So the guys know the thriller, Die Hard, but the girls didn't, and now vice versa. So what would you call this movie? Okay, Notebook is not like laptop in English. It's like, okay, so maybe diary. No, it's not the diary of Bridget Jones. Any other ideas? So, Book of Love. So in Russian, it is called the Diary of Memories, because this lady wrote her memories of her boyfriend in the past. So here's another movie. What about this movie? Anyone see A Walk to Remember? Okay, so another unknown movie. So this girl, she's a really proper Christian girl. She does everything correct, doesn't drink, smoke. But this guy is kind of the tough cookie of the school. He's always causing trouble, having fights. And he starts to have a relationship with her, and it takes a long time for them to maybe fall in love, maybe not. You'll have to watch the movie. And that's why it's called A Walk to Remember. It's a very long and romantic story. So what about Russian ideas? Okay, you think similar, you think Journey to Love, Falling in Love. For some reason in Russian, it's called Hurrying to Love. Speshiv beat. I don't know why. Again, I think it's ruining the main plot. So difficult to judge a book by its cover, yes? Or to judge a movie title by its translation. Here's another interesting one. This movie is called Lawless. Why do you guys think it's called Lawless? Okay, because you think it's about criminals, about some gangsters or cowboys. So actually, as you can see up here, these gangsters, criminals, decide to become the law officers because the real cops in this Western film become corrupt, start taking bribes, and they decide to become the lawful people. So that's why it's called Lawless. So what do you think about in Russian? Okay, so you think similar title or just, okay, helpful criminals. But for some strange reason, in Russian it is called the drunkest person in the world. Anyone know why that could be? Okay, you think because these people were drunks, criminals, they become the new world order. A little bit different. Actually, in English, this is from a book. And the book was called The Wettest Country in the World. Anyone know what it means, a wet country? No? Has anyone heard about a dry law? Like in Russia. So dry law is when there's no alcohol. So the wettest country means the place where there's lots of alcohol flowing, and that's why the police were corrupt. They allowed alcohol, and these people decided to change and make things better for the citizens of this town. So, as you can see, it's difficult to judge a title by its name, especially when you translate. So now, what I want us to do is take your workbooks out, and we'll first discuss what is in a name, the problem of translating book titles and of movie titles. So we'll read this text, learn some grammar here about the perfect tense, and then we will talk about who we are, about whether or not we can judge one another. I want you guys to tell me who I am. So first, let's open our books and read this.